Hello and welcome to today's video where we will be going through the prize money of the top 10 highest earning teams through 2021 per series, per map, per round, and I've also got a bit of a special one which is the prize money per kill for all of NAVI, and this does include Flamey due to the fact that they won the Intel Grand Slam, of course, right? So that wasn't just 2021. They technically won the prize money in 2021, but there were some events obviously in 2020, i.e. Katowice, right? So first off, this is just like a nice little pie chart. I thought it might be quite cool to illustrate the top 10 teams by earnings. But just so you can see how much of a dominant slice is taken by NAVI. And then when you think about it this way as well, how much of it is dominated by just the CIS region, right? Because VP have this as well. Gambit take up another portion. You know, we're thinking at least about, what, I'd say 68% of the prize pool in the top 10 was just won by NAVI, Gambit and VP, right? That's kind of nuts to me. But I just thought it would be quite a nice way to just show that sort of thing and be like, that's kind of crazy, right? So next up, this is the prize money won by teams per series in 2021. So series, obviously it means best of 1, best of 3, best of 5. That's just one way to separate this is a new opponent, right? So for some of the teams, they did get owned by, for example, at IM4 we had those overtimes, right? Well, not overtimes, the tiebreakers, which were basically overtime cycles, and that counted technically as a new series for some of the teams, but that's very marginal, right? That's very, very small amounts, because ultimately you can see clearly NAVI dominant, $45,000 per series in 2021, which is just and that's win or loss as well. So this is within the algorithm I use, or the calculation formula, whatever, was simply prize money divided by series, and then that's the average, right? This means that even if they lost, on average, they technically still won $45,000 based on what we already know. Gambit trailing behind them with nearly a third of what NAVI have, and then Gambit on their own also nearly have double what G2 have. And then we see a bit of a treacle, but small notes, VP lower than Astralis, and then Big lower than NIP. So I'll get to that bit later on, but that is actually to do with how many events they play, but also how technically they played more series as well. So obviously the amount of money is then divided a bit further. This is now the prize money won by teams per map. So this again, win or loss. Same story goes, nearly triple Gambit's actual value there, then same goes here, and then the same factor goes in VP and Big, being lower than people behind them as well. And now this is by round, so I thought this one would be quite interesting because this is technically, again, win or loss. This is just rounds they played, and then using the prize money and then just, you know, dividing it together. So NAVI were still capably winning, technically, $721 per round they played, which is just mental to think about, really, because, you know, we're thinking, let's say the salary of some of these teams, it's like 20k a player per month, and it's like, okay, well, they've just played a 51 bonanza in one map 1, and to NAVI that was worth $35,000. It's just like, that's crazy. But even on the lesser teams or the lower value teams, like Big coming in at the lowest with $59 per round they played. Obviously, Virtus paid by the round is another interesting theory people have, because it feels like every game they play lasts 30 round plus. They seem to average, in most of the big terms, they were averaging 30 plus rounds a game. And, I mean, this kind of helps our point, just by showing that they did have lower than Astralis for this, and nearly the same as Liquid even. But it doesn't quite push it home, right? This is more just like, okay, they did play slightly more rounds, or they won, you know, less prize money across the rounds they played, right? That's all that means, really. We now see this is the peak prize money earned at an event by teams in 2021. So this is just what was the highest single event take home, right? So for NAVI, it was obviously the major combined with the Intel Grand Slam, so that was 1 million each. So that was, you know, arguably some of the events could have been combined together to make that worth more. Gambit had Katowice, G2, technically it was the second place of the major for them that did that. For Vitality, it was the Blast World Final at the end of last year. Heroic, Pro League, VP, it was their second place at Katowice. Astralis, it was actually their first event of the year. It was the Global Final in January 2021. So from that point onward, it was a downward trend for them. Liquid, honestly despicable. Like, they were nearly the bottom of the top 10 teams, and that was just because of their placing at Katowice that they got 80,000. That was third, fourth money. And then Big. This is quite amusing, really, because I didn't expect Big to be in the top 10. And when I saw they were there, I was like, okay, fine. How did they get here? Because I was like, I couldn't think of any notable runs through 2021. And it turns out they had a run, or they won S1MPLE Europe final. And that was $150,000. So, yeah, well, if we went back to the previous, like the pie chart, for example, it was, along the lines of $300,000, $400,000 that they'd won in the year. $150,000 of it was just that one event. And then for NIP, it was the major $70,000, not too shabby. And then this is the lowest prize money. So obviously there are some events for teams where they just didn't win any prize money at all. NAVI, Vitality, Astralis, and Liquid, not one of those teams, evidently. So NAVI, it was the Epic CIS, the RMR, which, honestly, after going through all these events, I basically just figured out that the RMR events give next to nothing in prize pool. Like, for the amount of maps, rounds, and series they played, it was honestly kind of despicable. So, for example, that $3,500 that Navi got, I'm pretty sure that was an event where they played over 600 rounds. So it's like, pennies really, when you divide it all up and everything. Gambit got no prize money at 2 events this year. It was Snow Sweet Snow 1 and 2, where they didn't make it through. G2, it was because they played the IM Summer Qualifier, which they didn't get through, of course. Heroic and VP, it was the DreamHack Masters qualifier for Heroic. They did get through, obviously they did play at DreamHack Masters, but you get nothing for the qualifier. That happens. VP, it was Snow Sweet Snow number 1, as well as Republic. So one of them was with Sanji, the other one with Flip. Nothing really to make of that, it's just more, this is what happened, right? Astralis' lowest take-home was actually from Flashpoint 3, which again points the same finger as it was for the Epic CIS League one. Liquid's lowest take-home was actually from Blast Spring Showdown, which was a guaranteed $3,750 if you just participate, right? Big's lowest was actually a Pinnacle Cup, the major, because they got nothing from the major. Obviously, sticker money doesn't count in this situation. And then there was also Snow Sweet Snow or Snow Spring Snow, one of the others, one of those tournaments again. And then for NIP, it was actually Summit 7, Pinnacle again, and then also Snow Sweet Snow 2, I believe it was as well. And now this is actually just to dismiss that verse paid by the round thought, so I figured I might as well just see what was the average they played per map, and everybody's within a round of each other, right? So 26.4, Gambit having the lowest, and then G2 and VP having the highest. People wouldn't be surprised by VP, and then G2, when you think about it more, it's like how many games have they been at a lead and how many times have they fluffed it and then had it go close, really, is the argument there. So, there could be an argument that because they played so many extra maps as well, that the average is, they played a high amount of 2. It feels like every map they play goes 30. Turns out on average they go about 27. It's neither here nor there, but I feel like it would be worth just dismissing that, that story that we built around them, right? Because evidently it's not quite as true as we originally thought. Okay. So next up, this is actually the average prize money per kill. So this is the gem, right? This is the one where people can be just like flabbergasted. Okay. So the algorithm for this is simply just prize money divided by rounds played. That's the average per round. We then divide that by 5 because there's 5 kills available, and then we multiply that by the kills per round of the player at the event. And obviously this is collective for per kill for the whole year, so this is actually across the average amount per round that they had anyway. So for simple, a kill, this is round win or lost, this is played out per kill, round win or lost. $119.87 he would be getting in prize money, just because the thing is, it's not even like the prize money goes away if they don't get the kill. I just thought it'd be quite amusing to think like, let's just think of a fun way to point out how crazy this number is, because it is crazy. We saw Big Clan, for their prize money per round, it was $60. Simple's getting double that per kill he gets. And even, some of the other ones, like Electronic 97, Boomage 79, Perfecto 78, Bit 90. Flamey, of course, because he did participate in those Intel Grand Slam events. He played in the start of the year as well for quite a few events. He still was up there, above Perfecto and Boomage. But of course, that's not exactly... Let's not point fingers and say that he's better because of that value difference. And then this was actually the most they got per kill. And I thought this was quite amusing because let's just identify which events did they get the most prize money for just getting a single kill. And if for all 5 of these players, of course, it is the major. So they played the least maps there. They clean sweeped most of the things. They didn't lose a single map. It was very easy for s1mPLE and everybody. And s1mPLE was getting $719 per kill at that event if we use that same calculation. Obviously, this is not complete factual. They don't always get that prize money like the same way it goes like this. I highly doubt there is performance clauses in contracts where they do get extra money per kill, but if there is, that's cool. That happens in sports. Why shouldn't it happen here? But I just thought it'd be quite interesting to look at these numbers because, if you just $719 a kill, like it's nuts. And then for Flamey, it was the Intel Grand Slam because he still played a good portion of those rounds as well. So that's it from this video. It was just thought it'd be quite interesting to look at these numbers, kind of give like a s1mPLE earns how much per kill. VP are paid by the round. Turns out not really. They get paid less actually because they play so many rounds. But yeah, so if you liked the video, comment down section below. If you want anything else that you covered or something different like that, leave a comment as well. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.